Hi, welcome to Bemazok and our 2-week Caribbean cruise on Arvia. In this video, we share some island highlights, from beaches to excursions and 2026 New Year celebrations, with a few misadventures along the way. This holiday began in Antigua after an 8.5-hour flight. We were then transported to the cruise port at St John's by minibus, where Arvia awaited our arrival. After an easy check-in and bag scan, we boarded our home-to-be for the next 2 weeks and set off to find our cabin, room number 9342, midship on port side. Day 1, waking up to the calm pink and blue skies of Antigua. We collected our luggage from outside of our cabin door and headed to the upper decks for breakfast. After visiting Horizon Buffet on deck 16, we had some free time to visit the top deck before heading onto land. Being our second time staying on Arvia, we had a good idea of the layout and the outdoor activities on offer, some of which being crazy golf, high ropes, table tennis, deck shuffleboard and basketball. Today's onshore excursion was booked with P&O, named Jolly Beach Escape. This trip included 6 hours of free time to explore one of Antigua's paradise beaches. Also included in the price were minibus transfers, a sunbed and free drink upon arrival. The drive there took approximately 20 minutes.
Shout out my big man Ben and his beautiful lady Emma, all the way from Southampton, UK, here in Antigua. Yo, big up yourself, my brother. Big up yourself, my brother. Yo, turn the camera on you. Turn the camera on you. Turn the camera on you. Yes.
next port of call was the tropical island of St. Lucia, known for its natural beauty, Creole culture and the pitons. Today's excursion was another P&O trip, which included a bus ride to the famous Marigot Bay for a boat ride and some snorkelling. Originally, this trip advertised a sea and mangrove kayak session, which got cancelled last minute due to choppy conditions. The drive to Marigot took approximately 25 minutes from the Castries cruise port. After an eventful time spent on St. Lucia and the death of my faithful GoPro Hero 10, I wiped away the tears and picked up my backup DJI camera and continued filming our Caribbean adventure the following evening at sea. One of our favourite bars to visit in the evenings is in the 710 Lounge, where you can find live acoustic classics being played for 45-minute intervals. This needs to be booked in advance, but a small handful of walk-ins are accepted if you arrive early. New Year's Eve, waking up to the fresh island air of Grenada. We had an exciting day ahead of us, made up of an early morning snorkel trip, followed by beach time, and then evening New Year celebrations on board. Departing the ship at St. George's Port, we set off to meet our guide for another one of P&O's onshore excursions, called Sculpture Park Snorkel. After walking a short distance to the water taxi pier, we boarded our boat for the 10-minute ride to this underwater art exhibition at Molyneux Bay. Being a depth of 5 to 8 metres deep, these works of art were easily visible to those snorkelling, with the currents being relatively calm and water visibility good. However, my replacement DJI camera was not doing this unforgettable experience the justice it deserved. With a total of 75 works covering an easily swimmable distance, the highlight of this series was a large circle of children, symbolising unity and resilience. For our final afternoon of 2025, we took a private taxi to the pleasant Morne Rouge beach, where we spent a few hours before heading back to Arvia. This beach had a relaxed atmosphere and seemed less busy than Grand Annecy just around the corner. Brand new year in Barbados and another tropical adventure just around the corner. Docking in Bridgetown Cruise Port, we began the day by setting out early for a half-hour's walk to Carlisle Bay. The Boatyard Beach Club is a popular destination for tourists, with a vibrant and welcoming atmosphere located at the north end of the beach. Paying a reasonable $40 per person upon arrival will get you a chair, parasol, access to water inflatables, a 45-minute shipwreck and snorkel tour, and a bus ride back to the cruise terminal. It also has a lively bar area and restaurant where you can grab yourself a free welcome drink upon arrival. Later that evening, after visiting the much recommended Boatyard Beach Club, we freshened up on Arvia before heading back out to find some nightlife. Taxis were readily available from just outside the cruise port, and after deciding a pickup time, we set off to Oyston's Fish Market, which was roughly a 40-minute drive away on the south of the island. This vibrant social hub is popular with both locals and tourists, where you can enjoy a casual open-air dining experience throughout the evening, and also live entertainment in the form of modern and traditional dance performances. As well as this, there are also some stalls dotted around selling locally produced merchandise. Day 2 in Barbados, and the day was spent relaxing at Brandon's Beach, which in my opinion is just as beautiful as Carlisle Bay, but with far less people, and only a mile north of the cruise port, making it easily accessible on foot. For the evening, we opted for a sunset catamaran cruise, booked again through P&O. This would last around 3 hours, with drinks free-flowing from an open bar throughout the trip. Little did we know this was not going to be our last evening in Barbados. At this current point in time, Trump was busy kidnapping the President of Venezuela, causing travel mayhem across the US and the Caribbean. This would massively impact the second half of our cruise and planned itinerary. Day 3 in Barbados, with Arvia returning to Bridgetown Port after a few days floating around the Caribbean Sea. Having no excursions booked, we decided to spend the day at Paynes Bay Beach. The vibe here was different from the others visited so far, with a more luxurious and personal feel being at the end of Sandy Lane and all its exclusive hotels. Here, the water quality is good for snorkelling, and turtles can be found swimming close to the shoreline. Bay beach, you can find a small restaurant and a variety of watercraft for hire that just paddle water sports. After hearing about an accessible shipwreck close by in Sandy Lane Bay, we rented 2 solid paddleboards for 1 hour at $20 each and set off wreck hunting with our snorkeling masks. January. Instead of being on the British Virgin Islands, we had arrived back on the island of St. Lucia, where a trip to Pigeon Island was decided, located north of the island. An entry fee is $10, which will get you access to 44 acres of natural park with some short scenic hike trails and 2 private beaches, as well as a small historic museum and local art shop. This artificially joined island has numerous 18th century forts used by the British. Nowadays, this site is home to St. Lucia's annual Jazz Festival. The following day, we arrived at Port Zante on the colourful island of St. Kitts. Being another glorious morning without any booked excursions, we went for a walk in the town of Basseterre, which is located just outside of the cruise terminal. This town had a friendly atmosphere, with a good number of bars and shops selling everything from clothing, souvenirs, rum and diamonds. Having visited the neighbouring island of Nevis in one of our previous Caribbean videos, we opted for a last-minute afternoon excursion, being a catamaran cruise along the southwest coast of St. Kitts, with snorkel stops and lunch included. This trip was booked through getyourguide.com, which offer a wide range of excursions at very reasonable prices. Welcome to St Martin, and you guessed it, one last P&O snorkelling trip before sailing back to Antigua on our return flight home. This holiday had been eventful in many ways, with cancelled excursions, camera issues, an unexpected change of itinerary, but that's just life. Having explored so many incredible places on Arvia, meeting a bunch of great people, we wouldn't have it any other way. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Until next time.